Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, this is TBC News. Our top stories. President Samia underscores women's economic inclusion. Tanzania praised as Tanzania-US joint military training ends. Good evening, I am Kanki Mwegomole. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The President of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, calls on women with relevant education and who are fortunate to assume leadership roles to work diligently with integrity in a way that will motivate the society to see the value of educating a girl child. President Samia made the call during the 10th anniversary of the Female Future program, which coincided with the graduation of 110 participants from the 10th cohort, representing 28 companies, and the 7th leadership meeting held in Dar es Salaam. Caroline Maleo has prepared the following report.
President Samia further reminds women of their responsibility to both society and family in nurturing and developing children, ensuring they are guarded away from inappropriate behaviors.
Ndugu zangu, tunasema ukimwelimisha mwanamke umeelimisha jamii.
People say when you educate a woman, you educate society. So to our graduates, both past and present ones, go out there and be the catalyst for development within your community. The education and leadership skills you acquire should benefit your community, family, and the nation as a whole. A woman must not let these things become a reason to neglect her family or children. You bear a great responsibility to ensure that the community experiences faith and peace in the places where we live, and to support the education of female students.
On the other hand, Karin Ninge from the Confederation of the Norwegian Enterprise explains the aim of the introduction of the Female Future program, which operates in Norway, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, Tanzania, and Tunisia.
We started the Female Future program because we wanted women to aspire even more. We wanted them to take on more responsibility and build their confidence and step up into leadership's role. They were already educated and capable. So by gathering these women into networks where they can connect with others who share similar goals and learn from each other's experiences, we noticed a significant increase in their motivation and in their ambitions.
Furthermore, Peter Kihuluku, the executive director of ISAMI, discusses the impact of the program on women in leadership, while the president of Cohort 10, Adeline Moshi, shares how they have benefited from the program.
They are at work, they've got home duties, but they still found time to come, take their studies, do their exams, and they ensured they passed them well. This indeed is an act of perseverance and a passion, and we are confident that we are presenting to you, Your Excellency, women with the ability to lead and to govern with integrity, innovation, and inclusivity.
It has been a journey of 9 months. 9 months of transformation, 9 months of transition, and 9 months of deep reflections.
Since its inception, 462 women have graduated in the Female Future program, 16 of whom have reached top management positions in both the private and the public sectors. Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
Tanzania has been termed to be strategically critical in the regional and continental peace and security. Speaking to TBC News during the closure of the joint Tanzania-US military exercise in Dar es Salaam, U.S. top military officials insist on the long-standing ties between Tanzania and the U.S., making Tanzania critical in U.S.-led efforts to maintain peace and stability across the region. Nasa Kingo has more details.
This signifies the end of U.S.-Tanzania joint military training exercises and programs. What difference have the joint military exercises made this time around?
The United States and Tanzania have a long history of shared partnership tackling mutual interests. And Cutlass Express 25, which closed today, is just the latest example of this and builds on that foundation.
It's been a great exercise, excuse me, with the focus on the maritime side with Cutlass Express. We continue to work on our maritime operations centers, expanding with different partners, trying different capabilities. This time we were able to involve communications with our P-8 aircraft.
As Tanzania continues to contribute forces to the United Nations peacekeeping missions in a number of countries in Africa, what values have the exercises added to Tanzania's peacekeeping preparedness?
So if there's a crisis in East Africa, we will be here with our other partners to help whichever African nation needs it, and Tanzania is key in that role. So I just want to say thank you for the Tanzanian People's Defense Force for hosting an incredible event that will have long-lasting impacts.
Tanzania is termed as a champion in peace-building efforts.
Tanzania is one of our strategic partners, particularly in East Africa, but across the entire continent. It's one of our most valued partnerships. They hosted 2 exercises simultaneously, Judicious Accord and as well as Cutlass Express 25. That's a tall order for any country in Africa, and they pulled it off very, very well. We appreciate all the hard work that went into the exercise.
I understand that they say in Kiswahili, kidole kimoja hakifunji chawa. One finger cannot kill a louse. Together, we are more effective.
Peace and security are key components for development of any nation. And what happens nationally can have a great impact across the region, the continent, and globally, making joint military exercises like this between Tanzania and U.S. imperative and critical. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Nasa Kingu, TBC News.
The Minister of Agriculture, Hussein Bashe, says it is high time that African countries capitalize on technology so as to increase the value addition to coffee and put an end to the challenge of exporting unprocessed coffee outside the African continent. This comes after the raw coffee produced in Africa is being exported at a value of $3 billion, but if it is imported and processed, it values at $50 billion. Bashe made the revelation in Dar es Salaam during the opening of the 3rd meeting of 25 African countries that produce coffee in Africa. Rehema Sebabile has more.
It is the 3rd G25 African Coffee Summit that brought together stakeholders from 25 African countries to discuss on the best way to unlocking employment opportunities for the youth through the coffee industry. Addressing the summit, Bashe says Africa is the main producer of coffee around the world, so the sector must get the biggest share of profits from the sector, urging African youth to get into coffee farming.
Africa imports 500,000 tons annually for internal consumption worth $6 billion. To maximize the value chain and ensure farmers receive a fair share of the market, we must change our concept and invest in processing facility, both small-scale and large-scale, across all African coffee-producing and consuming countries.
On their part, some African youth who attended the summit says they see opportunities in the sector, while coffee traders state that the meeting will provide opportunities and a way to access capital so that young people can fully participate in the production and value chain of the crop.
In this summit, we are going to exchange the mindset, and then we are going to the farm. Is me, with my fellows, we are sure we are going to the farm to add the value of coffee and to feed the world of Africa.
We can add value to our coffee by getting appropriate funding. Once we get the appropriate funding, we are on track. And we've got young people who are really clever. We've got now universities in Tanzania. Every year, I think we are offloading nearly 60 to 100,000 graduates to be on street looking for jobs. These people can start their own companies. They can start their own facilities for value-adding the coffee.
We must consume our own coffee even before we look at how to export. Secondly, we need to process, we need to add value so that we make money like other parts of the world, because we just export it in raw format and then import it, paying a lot of money for using the foreign exchange.
I think we propose every morning we give every student a cup of coffee to make them have interest. My father has won a national best coffee farmer 2 times in Ghana when I was young, so I'm very interested in coffee. But right now, Ghana, no coffee unless cocoa. That's why we are here to take advantage of this opportunity. Yeah.
Tanzania is among of the top 5 coffee producers within the African region. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sababili, TBC News.
Meanwhile, Zanzibar continues to witness a surge of tourists with an impressive increase of up to 736,000 tourists visiting the island. In an exclusive interview with Zanzibar's Minister of Tourism and Heritage, Mudrik Soraga, the minister says the increasing number of tourists is propelled by the right strategies being implemented to promote sustainable tourism while preserving Zanzibar's rich cultural and natural heritage. He also emphasizes the government's effort to support local businesses and communities, ensuring they benefit from the growing tourism sector. Teddy Mparanyanga reports.
A long-term effect, I think we'll see more investors flocking in on the island, looking for investment opportunities on the island, not only in the hospitality industry, but also across the board with other services, manufacturing, telecom, communication, and all of these other services that align with the tourism industry. So we have 2 initiatives. First of all, Zanzibar is officially part of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, GSTC, which is a global governing body for sustainable tourism, something that we've been working on for the last 2 years to be a part of. So now we're officially members. But we have 2 major initiatives, the Greener Zanzibar Initiative and the Sustainable Tourism Declaration. And all of these initiatives align investment in tourism as well as sustainability and cultural conservation.
Banks and other financial institutions in the country have been urged to keep up with the global pace of technology advancement, which includes implementing artificial intelligence in customer service experience to boost productivity and lower operating expenses. This was stated in Dar es Salaam during the dialogue on transformative discussions on leveraging generative AI to enhance customer interactions and streamline communication strategies, where the head of marketing of the Exotel Technology Company of India says that generative AI powers contextual customer conversations and enhances service by improving satisfaction scores while reducing customer service costs by 40%.
I am seeing a lot of improvement in terms of the AI result and outcomes for businesses. I've seen the conversion rates from lead to revenue has gone by 40-45%. We have seen customer satisfaction scores going up more than 35-40%. The live CSAT score, we feel that the manual way of collecting CSAT might be dead. The live CSAT score across analyzing call data, analyzing voice messaging data across different conversations can actually give you real-time pulse, of the customer, how they're feeling, how they need to be addressed, how the agent needs to talk to them, how bot need to talk to them. It will definitely have an outcome on revenues.
In terms of technology adoption, technologies like AI, Kenya is I would want to say that it's leading in that space in terms of the East African region, and we want all the East African countries to join on board. Countries like Nigeria, we saw the other day that they have a vision to build an AI university in I think it's in Lagos, one of the big cities in Nigeria. We are seeing even in Rwanda, they have a lot of AI-driven conversations. I think it's taking place and it's just catching up.
Some representatives from various banking sectors say it is now time for the financial institutions in the country to embrace generative AI in the provision of services to customers in order to increase efficiency in customer service experience.
Should embrace these changes because AI technology is something that we will not avoid. It's something that we will definitely need to adopt in the near future, or if not now. What needs to be done specifically for financial services providers, one is to have it a strategical move and scan the opportunities around, but also get readiness environment within, implementing the securities.
Police, time saving. Yeah, and of course there's an element of efficiency being improved, because at the end of the day, through AI, we can be able to navigate and be able to say what exactly this client wants based on the behavior, the interaction that has been happening.
The bank side, it is a cost-saving item, I can say, because we will not require to have a bigger call center with so many resources, human resources. In this case, we are going to use the machine to respond, and the machine is quite efficient. It can correct data from different systems automatically. At a go, you have all your data at hand. You have done the data mining at hand.
In other news, the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Jerry Silaa, says Tanzania's government is committed to fight online fraud, which has become a challenge in various places in Tanzania. Here are more details.
In Tanzania, cybersecurity is considered to be high, with the country recently ranking first in Eastern, Southern, and Central Africa for its leadership in cybersecurity according to the Global Cybersecurity Index. Despite of all achievements, but still some members of the community experience the challenge.
The Stapeli campaign aims to provide education to the community, as well as to take specific measures in dealing with issues of fraud. I urge all members of the community to avoid giving out passwords and OTP for anyone.
Furthermore, Jerry Silaa urges mobile telecommunication companies to cooperate with the government and the people to eradicate online fraud.
Telecommunication companies should protect the interest of their customers as part of providing services by regarding users' security and privacy.
Hawa Ibrahim Baye, who is the Deputy Secretary Minister of Construction, Communication and Transport in Zanzibar, says they will review all policies related to cybersecurity, while Mohammed Abdullah, who is the Permanent Secretary Minister of Communications and Information Technology, insists on joint efforts as the country are needed as part of improving ICT services in Tanzania.
We will ensure that we develop a policy that will facilitate the broad concerns of Tanzanians.
Joint efforts and joint implementation are important shields in bringing value to the ICT sector in Tanzania.
According to Tanzania Communications Regulatory Authority, TCRA, reports state that fraudulent attempts dropped from 22,000 in June 2024 to 16,000 by the end of September 2024.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday. It's now time for the international news. Here's the international news with Lulua Muhammad.
Foreign ministers from the G20 top economies have gathered in South Africa's Johannesburg amid geopolitical rifts, tensions over the Ukraine war, and with the top U.S. diplomat a notable absentee. The G20, a grouping of 19 countries, as well as the European Union and the African Union, that represent some 85% of global GDP and 3/4 of trade, is deeply divided on key issues from Russia's war in Ukraine to climate change. South Africa, which currently holds the G20 presidency, opened the group's first major meeting of the year on Thursday. The U.S. Department of the Treasury has imposed the sanctions on a Rwandan government minister and a senior member of an armed group for their alleged role in the conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. The U.S. Treasury Department on Thursday said Rwanda's Minister of State for Regional Integration, James Kabarebe, was being targeted because he's central to Rwanda's support for the M23 armed group. Responding to the U.S. move, Rwanda's foreign ministry said the sanctions will not resolve the conflict in the DR Congo, terming them unjustified and unfounded. And leaders from Arab countries have met in Saudi Arabia to hammer out a recovery plan for Gaza. The summit is aimed at countering U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal to relocate the Palestinian enclaves, 2 million people, to Egypt and Jordan. Trump's plan has united Arab states in opposition, but disagreements remain over who should govern the war-ravaged Palestinian territory and how to fund its reconstruction. Trump triggered global outrage when he proposed the United States take over the Gaza Strip and relocate its 2.4 million people to neighboring Egypt and Jordan. The Gaza Strip is largely in ruins after more than a year of war between Israel and Hamas, with the United Nations recently estimating that rebuilding would cost more than $53 billion.
And that's the end of the international news. We'll be right back with the sports news. And in sports, Saudi Arabia Ministry of Religion spokesman Abdallah Ali Enezi says the ministry has sponsored the Tanzania International Holy Quran Award 2025 to strengthen diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Saudi Arabia. Speaking in Dar es Salaam towards the competition on Sunday, Al Enezi adds that the competition will boost relations between the people of Tanzania and Saudi Arabia, with the chairman of the Tanzanian club spokesperson Ali Kamwe urges Tanzanians, regardless of their religion, to participate in the competition to boost their faith and increase unity and cooperation amongst themselves.
This is one of the efforts the Ministry of Religion in Saudi Arabia is doing to improve diplomatic relations with Tanzania. Not only sponsorship of the Holy Quran competition, but also we have many projects which Saudi Arabia is working with Tanzania in other sectors like education and economy, and we will continue doing so. We ask all Tanzanians to pull up in numbers to witness the competition that brings unity and cooperation among us, as well as getting different rewards for those who will come to watch the show.
Bali na faida ya thawabu utakayoipata kwa kusikiliza Qur'ani ikiwa inasoma.
Kuna dua kubwa na bahati nzuri tuna imamu. I ask all of Tanzania to come up to Benjamin Mkapa Stadium to witness the competition, as well as receiving dua from the Imam of the whole mosque of Medina.
Lakini watakuwa wanafuatilia kupitia vyombo vya habari na wenyewe watapokea dua hiyo nzuri kwa nchi yetu na kwetu sisi wote.
30 participants from 30 countries around the world confirmed to participate in the Tanzania International Holy Quran Award 2025 World Competition to be held at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium on Sunday. And finally, the Tanzania women national team coach Samuel Kapungu says boxers have shown big commitment in the ongoing training, gearing up for the World Boxing Championship to be held in Serbia. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, Coach Kapungu believes that what has been displayed during the training camp will also be utilized in the competition, as the boxers are determined to bring home medals from the World Boxing Competition.
Everyone going there has one goal, to bring back a medal. Let me also reassure you of one thing. We are no longer newcomers to the competition. The first time we were, but now, on our second time, we understand what it takes to train our players for the international stage.
10 Tanzanian women national team boxers are camping in Dar es Salaam, preparing for the World Boxing Championship to be held from March the 6th to March the 17th in Serbia. And that's the end of the sports news. Before we conclude the news for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, dear viewer. Welcome to the next 24 hours forecast starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omari. Wind is expected to flow at 40 km per hour over the northern coast, while over the southern coast, wind speed is expected to reach 30 km per hour. Over Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa, wind speed is expected to reach 20 km per hour. And TMA has issued an advisory of strong wind reaching 40 km per hour over the northern coast, so necessary precaution should be taken over those areas. And rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over some areas of our country, especially over western part of our country towards south part of our country. And tonight, a few areas, especially over western part of our country, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunderstorms over a few areas. Over the southwestern highland, southern part of Morogoro region, Ruvuma, Lindi, and Mtwara region, we are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. And tomorrow, a few areas, especially over western part of our country, Lindi and Mtwara regions, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers in the sun period. Over the southwestern highland, southern part of Morogoro region, and the Ruvuma region, we are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas in sun period. Over Singida and the Dodoma region, we are expecting to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas in sun periods. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition and sun periods. And in terms of maximum temperature, we are expecting warm to hot temperature to persist over some areas of our country, especially along the coastal areas and the northeastern highland. And the highest maximum temperature is expected to be 36 degrees Celsius in Kilimanjaro region, following by 35 degrees Celsius in Morogoro region. While over the rest, we are expecting maximum temperature to be 34 degrees Celsius. And now, let's have a look on the next 4 days of forecast over some regions of our country. In Dar es Salaam, maximum temperature is expected to be 35 degrees Celsius. In Dodoma, maximum temperature is expected to be 33 up to 34 degrees. In Mbeya region, we are expecting thunder showers over a few areas. In Mwanza, maximum temperature is expected to be 31 degrees Celsius. In Kilimanjaro, maximum temperature is expected to be 36 degrees Celsius. In Morogoro, maximum temperature is expected to be 35 degrees Celsius. And in Arusha, maximum temperature is expected to be 31 degrees Celsius. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Good night.